I'm illegally parked, I know, part of my French and my Mercedes. But I have no excuse for this flea market shirt I'm wearing. My motley crew is beastie, and we enjoy the staring. I'm unemployed and daring. How dare I be so cool when it's so hot in Alabama? Sometimes we get snow too. And I'm as rare as a white Christmas in Miami, really. The temperature's dropping on South Beach, the ocean's getting chilly. But I'm driving, my people, the party, yeah. Some drinking, get rowdy, party. And I went out with a buddy or two, and it was all on. And we got to the bar by the 1:45, and it was all on. And we got going, 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 and we got going. Yes, I jumped off the boat, and I'm sinking in my chair, cause my beer bottle does not float. Help me now. Please enjoy the show. I done came up so fast that I'm afraid of heights. I gotta go, help me down, or I'll just learn to balance somewhere between commercial dreams and music that is valid. My babies need to eat, so I create a simple sound. The fiasco threw me for a loop. Hey, I dumbed it down, slick, wicked vibe, and driving. I'm driving, my people, the party, yeah. Some drinking, get rowdy, party. And I went out with a buddy or two, and it was all on. And we got to the bar by the 1:45, and it was all on. And we got going, 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 and we got going. Yeah, my people are riding, and trucks and wheels are resized. In such a world I reside, and your luck runs low with your pride. And enough to keep you a bite of the club and troubles around. I got them car keys in hand, I know what the fuck's going down. Some of these people come sick, some pop the trunk for AKs. They wanna do bodily harm, they wanna live for the day. We just came to get stupid, so give me that bottle of Crown. I take my girl to my Caprice and get the fuck out of town. Come on, girl. And I'm driving, my people, the party, yeah. Some drinking, get rowdy, party. And I went out with a buddy or two, and it was all on. And we got to the bar by the 1:45, and it was all on. And we got going, 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 and we got going.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Saturday to everybody. Full disclosure, I do not feel good. I'm not talking about football. I just don't feel good. I haven't felt good for 2 days. You guys that normally tune into my Friday night beer streams last night couldn't do it. I was just too under the weather. Felt like crap all day today. But anyway, I know the first thing, obviously we got Ohio State and Nebraska tonight. Chose to do that because it's not at the same time as the Clemson game. First and foremost. And I'm sure I'm going to get a million questions about the game. So before I even start on talking about any other games, I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on the Clemson and North Carolina game. I know a lot of people are probably thinking that I'm going to be upset. Excuse me. Told you, I'm not right. You guys don't have to bear with me. I'm not upset. Yes, there's some things that I am not happy about in that game, particularly the offensive line. They were abysmal in this game. What was it, 7 false start penalties? Most of those were on third downs. That is something that can be fixed and cleaned up. I was telling a friend of mine earlier this week, I said, I kind of hope that Clemson gets tested in this game against an unranked opponent on the road. Because this is a young team, especially a young defensive line. And I want to see Trevor Lawrence. You know, it's been a year and a half now that Trevor Lawrence has been on that team. He's been a starter for a year now. And he has never put the team on his back and won the football game for them yet. We saw Deshaun Watson do that over and over again. We even saw Kelly Bryant do it a few times when he was a starter. We have never seen Trevor Lawrence put the team on his back and be a warrior and make big plays when they counted to win a football game when they were on the ropes. And he did that today. I don't even know what Trevor Lawrence's stats were today. I don't even care. Somebody can probably tell me what they are in the chat here. But Trevor Lawrence has been catching a lot of flack this year from Clemson fans and everybody else about his stats and how he just hasn't looked right. This man showed me today what I've been waiting to see for the past year. And that is that he can, when he's on the ropes, he can make the big plays and be the warrior. He ran the ball for big plays for first downs. A couple of third downs, he made big passing plays where he was under duress. And he really made all the big plays in this game. Now, obviously, at the end of the game, we had the defense stood up there, made that 2-point conversion stop. But let's be real, the defense let them drive all the way down to score to score the potentially game tying touchdown to begin with, so I'm not going to give them too much credit. Now they did get it when it counted, but I know I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter. I was just sitting back on my couch today during the whole game. I didn't tweet once, and most of the time I don't during Clemson games. But I was just watching half of the Clemson fan base on a complete meltdown. Doing the same thing they've been doing all year. Just pointing out all the bad stuff. I was never worried at all during this game until that 2-point conversion. That was the only time during the game that I was actually worried that they would lose the game. But it's games like this that build character in a team. If you want to talk about struggle win against an unranked bad team, first of all, I don't think North Carolina is a bad team. They're not anywhere near Clemson's level. Clemson should go out there and beat them handily. But look at the struggle wins that we've had against unranked teams over the past few years, and look how those seasons ended up. It's games like this early in the season that you want to see your team eke out and win. Now, had they lost the game, that would have been a completely different story. But I'm happy with it. I'm happy that they faced adversity and won, and I'm glad that I actually got to see Trevor Lawrence put the team on his back and make big plays and win the game. Trevor Lawrence should have been the MVP of this game. The offensive line, awful. They can work on that. Travis Etienne has no business. Now, he's one of the best running backs in America, hands down, bar none. Everybody knows it. Travis Etienne has proved to me he's in his third year now. He has no business in pass protection. He's no good at it. He was terrible his first year, and everyone said, it's his first year. He was a true freshman. He'll clean it up. He was terrible last year, and guess what? Oh, big shocker. He's terrible again this year at pass blocking. If it's a 3rd and 8 or a 3rd and 7 and you know you're going to pass the ball, do not put Travis Etienne in there to block, period. Stop doing that. We've learned now he's not good at it. And that's all there is to that. So let's see who's in the chat here. Let me take this stupid headphones off. I don't need them. Let me see who's in the chat here real quick. Good afternoon, Christian Ballard, Bartholomew, EIEIO, Neto, Daystar Mysteries, Sports in the Bay Area, SEC Dog, Delta Charlie, Lou Patton, Slim Shady Canes, Eli Sheets, Alan V, Cody Lackney. What's up, Pete? Looks like you know which game Clemson's derp game is this year. Yeah. Leon Hurricanes, how you doing, sir? Welcome to the stream. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and Fantastic. I'll have to go through and read all these comments. Another thing I want to address, because this is something I've seen all over Twitter and stuff too. And I'm not going to even respond to this. You already know how I feel about this. Everybody here already knows how I feel about this. It hasn't changed from last week, the week before, the year before that. It's not going to change next week. About Clemson dropping in the polls. Number 1 Clemson got tested by North Carolina. They're going to drop in the polls. Good. I hope they do. I don't care. Put them at 20. Put them at 30. Put them at 50. The polls don't mean shit. Not to me. Or not to anybody else. So put them anywhere you want. Listen, you want to talk about polls? Let's do the polls here. I'm going to put Clemson at 5. How about that? How about all you Clemson fellow Tater fans out there? I'll put Clemson at 5. Why? Because it's outside of the top 4, and that's where I want them to be right now. The polls don't matter. Clemson's only enemy at this point, because of their schedule, is themselves, and that's all there is to it. All they got to do is win, and they're in, and that's all that matters. Polls mean everything to who? To you? Good for you. I don't know what to tell you, Christian. I'm glad that they mean something to you, because they don't mean anything to anybody else, including the actual facts of the matter that the AP polls don't decide who gets in the playoff or anything. They decide who walks around like Georgia and beats their chest about beating Notre Dame at home, barely beating Notre Dame at home. So put Georgia ahead of Clemson too, all you want. As a matter of fact, you know what I want? Is it Christmas time yet? Hell, it's not even Halloween yet. Jesus, if you're listening, this is Pigskin Pete here, and I have a very, very special request for you, sir. Respectively, of course, Jesus. Please, please, please. If I don't ask you for anything, I promise I'll go to church every Sunday. I'll open doors for women. I'll even make some sandwiches for the homeless people down here in Charleston, South Carolina. If you could just please grant this one wish for me. One wish, that's all. I don't ask you for much. I mean, my health, and my family's health. But please, please, put Clemson against Georgia in the playoffs if they both make it. Please make that round 1. Please. I would love to play Georgia. Notre Dame is good. Yeah, Notre Dame is good. RP has apparently learned how to use a keyboard for the first time. Either that or he's got Tourette's, because he just keeps saying the same thing over and over again, and it's something that nobody really cares about on top of that. Trevor Lawrence is on the transfer portal. What's up, Leon? Hurricane says, I support Clemson. Shout out to Pigskin Pete, my brother. Miami Hurricanes till I die, period. Good for you, sir. Thank you, Leon. Thank you for your support. Lawrence, the next quarterback back at Oklahoma? No, I don't think so. Is somebody going to sit around and tell me that Lawrence played bad today? I'm still waiting on that. I have not been on any of these Clemson, groups on Facebook yet. I might actually have to stay away from them for the next week or so, because I'm on a path right now that's leading to. I've already been banned from the entire state of Michigan. If I ever want to go to Michigan for any reason, I probably have to take a bodyguard with me, or either that or carry a couple guns. I don't know. Are guns even legal in Michigan? Probably not. There are a bunch of tards up there. But if I go to Michigan, I done pissed so many people off there that they'll probably want, put a hit out on me or something. I'm on the same path with Clemson fans already, and I might be there by the end of the year, because these guys want to jump off a bridge every time somebody throws an incomplete pass or something. Eli Sheets says we need an 8-team playoff. Well, you're going to get your wish, Eli. It's just a matter of time before that happens. So, I disagree. I think 6 would be as high as I go. But listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion. 8 would be the max. Anything more than 8, and I won't be a happy person. I may even ban watching college football for a year in protest. We had the civil rights movement in the 60s. It was very important. There was a women's rights movement at one point in history. Of course, we had the revolution against the redcoats and the oppressive Englishmen back in the 1700s. But if they go to a 16-team playoff, we might have to have our own college football revolution, and we may have to stand in the streets and hold hands in solidarity against ruining the sport of college football and trying to make it like the NFL. Are you guys with me? You with me? If Miami fans had their way, the coaches would all be fired last week. Yeah. Hey, Slim Shady Canes, I'm glad you brought that up. I've been watching a complete meltdown from the Miami fan base on everywhere. It must be really hard to be a Miami fan right now. You guys can't agree on anything, it seems like. Running an option at half speed was pretty stupid against Clemson's defense. Yeah. Peete, my request for the committee for Alabama, don't put us at number 1. Don't put us against Clemson in the semis. I would probably think that would probably be the most likely scenario if Clemson and Alabama do end up both making it to the playoffs. People are so sick of seeing Clemson play in the title game at this point that they might just put them in the semi round just to stop that from happening. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything, but there's my conspiracy theory for the year. How about that? Do I think Clemson should drop from something random? Do I think Clemson should drop? Drop what? I don't think they should drop the soap. No. If you're talking about the polls, I don't care. No offense. I mean, yeah, drop them. Drop them out of the top 10 if you want. Care less. RP, we are sick of Clemson because they don't play nobody. I know you're sick of Clemson, sir. You know, winners win, and losers like you, sir, complain about winners. And that's the way that life goes. It's not just a football thing. That's just the way life is. It's a life lesson for you. I'm glad. I won't even charge you for that advice, but you might be able to take it and teach it to your kids and maybe your grandkids. And I won't hold it against you if you don't. How good do I think Ohio State is? I think Ohio State's really good, but just like RP said there, that they don't play nobody. So I don't know. We'll find out tonight. I think Ohio State's going to win pretty big tonight, though. Drop from number 1. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Like I said, put them at 10, put them at 12, put them at 15. If you want to drop them out of the top 40, go ahead and do that. Don't really care. Leon Hurricanes. Sir. Leon coming through with a $50 super chat donation. I don't even know what to say about that, man. I mean, other than thank you, I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. But anyway, what Leon says with the donation is the U. I'll go ahead and put the U up. Am I doing it right? Is it this way or this way? I don't know. I think it's this way. Thank you, Leon. If we ever meet in person, sir, then I'll buy you not only a beer, but a bunch of them. You are amazing and fantastic, sir. Is Florida overrated? Yes. Florida and Michigan are the two most overrated teams in the country. Bar none. Hands down. And after today, if you want to say Clemson's overrated, fine. I agree with you. They're overrated. They shouldn't be ranked number 1 right now. But all I care about is what they're ranked at the end of the year. Leon needs to donate to Miami to buy a team. That's not right, sir. Aaron Short, that's not nice, sir. Come on. Slim Shady Kane says Bama only has one challenge this year. That's UGA. The rest of the SEC is crap. Well, Alabama's not going to play anybody that even has a chance to even compete with them until what? November? The SEC is the strongest conference. Yeah, okay. I don't know, man. I don't think there's a dominant conference in football right now. I just don't. And I'm not saying the ACC is strong because they're not. but I don't think there's a dominant one. I don't care. And don't even type in the comment section, there's 5 teams or 4 teams or 6 teams in the top 10 from the SEC. I don't care what the polls say. That's not my poll. I mean, I believe that, there's Alabama and a couple other really good teams in the SEC. I guess if you want to say that they have 2 or 3 good teams and every other conference only has 1, then that's fair. Aaron Short, you sound like a South Carolina fan, sir. Yeah, it's not the grind it once was. Look, it's funny when these SEC teams go out and lose non-conference games, they make excuses about it. But if Clemson goes out and loses a non-conference game to somebody, they say, "Oh, the ACC is terrible." So I'm wondering if Alabama's better than Ohio State. Well, we'll find out. This will all work itself out, really. So, I mean, it is what it is. I can tell you right now, I don't care what the polls say. If these teams go on to play the way that they're playing, the top 4 teams are going to be Clemson, Alabama, probably Georgia, and Ohio State. Now, of course, you got Oklahoma as an outlier there, and there'll be somebody in there that Leon Hurricanes. Leon coming through with another $50 super chat. And at this point, I don't know what else to say again. I lost my train. What was I even talking about? Thank you, Leon. Aaron Short, he says, Aaron Short. He's talking to you, sir. Yes, Leon is the man. Clearly. Neon Leon, he says. Clemson has been exposed, dude. LOL. Lawrence just not himself under pressure. So, sir, Jimmy, are you just now checking into the channel? Did you watch the game today, Jimmy? Because if it weren't for Trevor Lawrence, they would have lost that game today. He was the best player. He was the MVP of the game. He was the best player on the field. He made all the big plays when it mattered, despite the fact that his offensive line was completely awful today. And for an Alabama fan to be saying that a guy that threw for like 400 yards and 4 touchdowns against them in a national championship game is overrated is laughable. But you can keep telling yourself that if you want to. RP says Auburn. Now the truth comes, and the truth will set you free. RP. Auburn will go undefeated. I knew you were a Barner with all your delusional talk. See, RP, it's all starting to make sense now, RP. It all makes sense. RP, do you realize? I mean, I know that math isn't exactly Auburn's strong suit. I mean, aren't they into farming and stuff like that? But Clemson has beat Auburn 4 times in a row this decade. 4. Count that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So your jealousy is oozing out of your comments. What's up, Jay Jobs? Pigskin people. Some people live in their own little worlds. Yes. Y'all tripping, y'all not beating Bama. I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for all the I'm waiting for all of the people that come in the comment section of my videos and start saying Clemson sucks. There's one guy on there. This guy's got a severe mental problem. He comes on my YouTube channel at least 3 times a day, and all he does is type that Clemson sucks. I mean, I don't know what Clemson did to this guy, but he's got a major, major problem. Tiger Raven's got the math there for you. RP, go ahead and read it and weep, sir. Can't blame him. Clemson does suck. I hope he didn't go to Auburn, man. That's a bad representation. You know, a team that is a defending national champion and has won 20 games in a row. And if you say they suck, then fine. All right, so give me some predictions. By the way, what was the final score of that Virginia and Notre Dame game? Because that was one of the games I picked in my Bet Now videos for the contest this week. Sam Strong. By the way, everyone go check out Bet Now. Click the link in the description of the video. Use the promo code Peete, P-E-E-T-E, all caps. And I'll give you a bonus on your deposit. All for a good cause. Hashtag Sam Strong. 35-20. Damn, so I lost that one. I picked UVA to cover that spread. So right now, I only picked 3 games this week. I'm 1-1, so I won the Duke wager. By the way, how in the hell was Duke an underdog to Virginia Tech? And I'll never understand that. Duke blew Virginia Tech off the map last night. And then, of course, I did bet this game, too. Ohio State, Nebraska. I picked Ohio State to cover 17.5 points as a favorite. We'll see. Alpha Evie, Higgins is by far this year the star receiver for Clemson. It's not even close. Ross has really been kind of a non-factor this year. Higgins goes in the draft this year. Ross is only a sophomore. I would say that Higgins will be a top 20 pick in the draft as a receiver. Definitely a first rounder. He's played unbelievable both last year and this year. Yeah, Justin Fuentes is a bust. And Christian Ballard says that Lawrence has no backup. He goes down, the whole team goes down with him. I disagree. I think Chase Bryce might be the best backup quarterback in the country. So, no, I disagree with that completely. What's up, Jamie McCaslin? Mark Carty. Listen, the entire country was rooting for North Carolina. This is what happens. If you're Clemson or if you're Alabama, these teams that have been dominant over the past half of a decade at least, in Clemson's case, those two teams, everybody's rooting against you every week. That's just the way it goes. So, yeah. Justin Fuente has been a huge bust. I'd fire him yesterday. But I don't know if they will. Virginia Tech does not have a history of firing coaches very easily. Jamie, you must have missed the first 10 minutes of the stream. How do I feel about Clemson? Yeah, I have some problems with the way they play, but yeah, I'm not worried at all. I was actually very happy that they got tested, and I was very happy to watch Trevor Lawrence face adversity and and put the team on his back to win the game. Something I haven't seen him do yet in his entire career. I mean, even the big games they won last year in the playoffs, they were never in jeopardy of losing those games. So he hasn't really been the guy. He's never had to do like Deshaun Watson did or Kelly Bryant did and be the guy, to make the plays. So I was happy with that. Clemson, if you face Bama again, be afraid, very afraid. Clemson's not afraid of you or anybody else. Doesn't mean they'll win, but they're definitely not afraid. Tested by a basketball school. You said the same thing against Syracuse. 2 out of the last 3 years, they were tested by a basketball school. How'd that work out? SEC dog, they went on to win national titles while you were losing to Texas in bowl games. Anyway, I got to get to this. Is this game started yet? I'm too busy reading the chat here. I bet Mrs. Peete was really happy and calm too. Well, Mrs. Peete was not here during the game. which made for a very quiet house. I'm actually glad that she wasn't here because that would have made things extremely stressful. I was very calm and collected during the entire game, which is my MO. I'm a very calm and collected person in general. Mrs. Peete has a tendency to stress me out during Clemson football. So, yeah, look, there's Wake Forest play? I think they're playing right now. Wake Forest is undefeated. Virginia lost their first game today to Notre Dame. But yeah, Wake Forest is undefeated. Duke's only loss is to Alabama, first game of the year. Those are two pretty good teams. You heard some shade from Pigskin. Yeah, I throw shade like Tua throws touchdowns. All right, here we go. The game start. What's up, Clemson Carson? How you doing, sir? All right. Despite the fact that I've bet on Ohio State for my Bet Now video, I don't really care who wins this game. I actually just want to see a good game. You know, this will be the best team that Ohio State's played by a long shot this year, and it's in a hostile environment. I'm still not convinced that Nebraska's very good, though, judging on the way they've done this year, the way they've played. RP. You just got your first warning, and you say something like that again, and you're out of here. I mean, I don't have any time for nonsense. I mean, I realize that there is no age restriction on this channel. That, you know, that 12-year-olds like yourself can come in here and say stuff like that. But I'm not your mommy. I don't have to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll just kick you out. Jimmy C has gone on a rant about Trevor Lawrence versus Tua. I mean, I don't need to see anything more than what I saw in the national championship game last year. That's all I really need to see. All right, 1st and 10, Nebraska from the 8. And the quarterback keeper, he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And a late hit on Ohio State. That's going to be a personal foul. Stupid penalty. Stephen Marsh used my picks today. Did you excuse me, did you use all 3 of them? Now I feel indebted to you. Well, I hope that Ohio State covers for your sake then, because you're going to be mad at me if you lose 2 out of 3. All right, well, damn it, Stephen. Put all the pressure on me to win for you. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 27. Going to hand the ball off, and he's going to pick up about 9 yards. Big time run there by Nebraska. 2nd and 1. Steven says I'm a good guy. Thank you. Clemson Carson, are you sure? Because I saw was 44-16. Now you guys are just trolling each other in the comment section. All right, 1st and 10. And he's going to pick up about 2 yards on the run. It'll be 2nd and 8, Nebraska. If Leon donates another $50, Pete will be a Miami fan. No, I don't think that Leon could ever donate enough money to make me a Miami fan. But I will say this. Outside of Clemson, I'd say that Miami fans and maybe even Alabama fans have been my biggest supporters on YouTube. So I have nothing but love for the Canes fans. They've been good to me. 2nd and 7. And hit behind the line of scrimmage. Big time play by Ohio State on defense there. It's going to be 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9. And see another Miami fan coming through. Slim Shady Canes with a $5 super chat. What's the one thing you can find on the internet? A person that will admit that they weren't a Bama fan before '09. Thank you, Slim Shady Canes. 3rd and 7. Oh, intercepted by Ohio State. And yeah, that's. And it's starting early. This has been Nebraska's problem all year. They've got an elite quarterback in Martinez as a preseason Heisman, contender, favorite, whatever you want to call it. But they just don't have the horses right now. It's going to take another year or two, I think, before they can compete with anybody. They haven't played well this year, which is why I was surprised that Ohio State was only favored by 17.5. But, of course, it is still early. I'm not going to get ahead of myself here. Pete loves Alabama fans, too. I do, actually. I don't have a problem with Alabama fans. I mean, the ones that are halfway sane, anyway. Real recognizes real. That's the first number one overall thing there with Alabama and Clemson. These people, most of them have respect for each other. It's not like South Carolina. And something happened in my chat. Am I online? I'm going to pretend like I am. 1st and 10. And 1st down, Ohio State. Online, but the camera's frozen. Oh. I don't know. How about now? You can see me now? What just happened? I don't know if I think it was a flag on Nebraska. I'm too busy trying to mess with this. My screen's frozen, though. swear. Leon coming through again. Leon, did you hit the pick 3 today? Shout out to Slim Shady Kane. The other channel is too toxic for me. Thank you again, Leon. Ohio State touchdown, Justin Fields. Is anybody surprised that happened? No, I'm not. I don't know. I think it might be offline again. I'm going to have to stop the stream and start it over again. Don't go anywhere. I don't know what else to do. I can't see anything. There it is. All right, I can see you now, I think. I don't know what's going on here with this computer. I'm sorry, everybody. All right, I think I'm good now. Yeah, it must have just been frozen on my side. I don't know. Anyway, so we're up 7-0. Is that right? Ohio State. I was too busy messing with this stupid computer. All right. That's weird that my other camera was frozen, which is my webcam. This camera here is just my computer webcam, and I hate it. The light, it doesn't pick up light as well. But anyway, I'd rather have one that works than one that's freezing the screen. So, whatever. What's up, Roberto LeBron? This is just way too easy for Ohio State. Has reality sunk in yet, Clemson fans? Has reality sunk in about what? About whooping your ass 44-16 and being the defending national champions? No, it hasn't. Has it sunk in for you? I don't think I've rooted for a team in the college football game that has won the season. All right, see you later, Delta Charlie. Have a good one, man. All right, so 10 minutes and 35 seconds left. And Ohio State kicks the ball off. And it's going to be a touchback. Nebraska will take over at their own 25 after a turnover that led to a touchdown by the Buckeyes. Cody, because Well, I don't know why. That's a good question, though. That's something I've been trying to figure out for a couple of years now. All right, 1st and 10. Running up the middle for about 2 yards. This whole thing with people don't play nobody. I don't. There's 130 teams in Division I football. There's 64 teams in Power 5 football. There's 12 games a year. I mean, everybody get out their calculators, and I can walk you through this. There's no possible way in hell. 2nd and 7, incomplete. There's no possible way in hell that one team can play 12 top 10 teams a year. It's mathematically impossible. Every single team in America, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 who get unlucky on any given year, play a couple of good teams and a bunch of teams that are inferior to them. The way it goes every year, has always, will always be that way. And there's no way to fix that unless you can figure out a way to create a black hole. The theory of relativity. 3rd and 7, Martinez is sacked for a loss. Not going to happen. Yeah, you want to go back to the old days, the 1950s, when they had 18 different national champions in the same year. Everyone was claiming national championships. Sleeping Angel says, why are you getting so worked up for? I don't know if you're talking to me. I'm not getting worked up. You haven't seen me worked up. 4th and 9. The punt is up. And he's going to be taken down as soon as he catches it. Good special teams by Nebraska there. That game almost gave me a stroke. What's good, Pete? What's up, Marco Polo? How you doing? Pete has resting bitch voice. Okay, whatever that is. He's not the first one to say that about me. People always tell me, why are you getting so worked up? Why are you getting so worked up? And I'm like, am I? Man, I feel like I'm about as calm as you can get. If I were any less calm, I'd be passed out. This is just the way I talk. Yale has 26. Bama got some catching up to do. What's up, Sarah Small? Like always, I'd like somebody, normally Billy Dawson is my guy that gives me the updates periodically from the other games that are going on. The only other game that's going on right now, I think there might actually be 2 of them. I know I want to be updated on the Wake Forest score and, the South Carolina and Kentucky score, too. What channel is that on, by the way? I don't see it. Somebody tell me what channel the South Carolina game is on. South Carolina's up 7-0. Ohio State with a big run. He picks up about 20 on the play, 15 or 20. Yeah, Ohio State just looks... This game might be over by halftime the way it's looking right now, unfortunately. The SEC Network. Of course it is. Because the SEC Network usually puts the worst team in the conference on every week. And, of course, that's always South Carolina, so that doesn't surprise me. They might be on the SEC Network every single week, as a matter of fact. I should just call it the Gamecock Network when it comes to game day. Would you rather own a cabin in the mountains or on a beach or a beach house? Hold on. I'll answer that in a second. 1st and 10, Fields back to pass. Throws it to his left-hand side. Complete for about a 5-yard gain. He's taken out of bounds. It's going to be 2nd and 5. Would I rather own a house in the mountains or a beach house? I'd take a cabin, yet I live in Florida. Depends. I like both. I'd probably rather live in the mountains, though. When I say that, and I live on the coast. Probably rather be in the mountains, though. 2nd and 5. Run up the middle for about a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 4. Slim Shady Canes with another $5 super chat. Aaron Short is triggered. Hold on, 3rd and 4. Fields rolls out to his right, complete for a 1st down. Aaron Short is triggered. Miami Dynasty 1980 through 2005. Check your facts and your privilege, sir. Thank you again, Slim Shady Canes, and thank you for dropping knowledge on Aaron Short. RP continues to make the most ridiculous and stupid statements on YouTube history. Thank you for that. 1st and 10. From the 40... from the Cornhuskers 38. Or 34. Big time play by the running back. 1st down, Buckeyes. Yeah, Dobbins is... this is just the difference between Ohio State talent and Nebraska talent right now at this point. They're just getting manhandled. 1st and 10. And a good defensive play there. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Oklahoma State 13-0 over Kansas State. Six minutes left. 2nd and 10. Fields back to pass. He's got all day. He's still got all day. And he throws it away. So good coverage there by Nebraska's defense. He had about 7 or 8 seconds in the pocket there and nowhere to go with the ball, so he threw it away. 3rd and 10. From the 20. Empty backfield. Designed run. Fields for the 1st down and more. Inside the 10. 1st and goal, Buckeyes. How did they not see that coming? There was an empty backfield. Florida State over 3-0 over North Carolina State. Man, North Carolina State, they are just pitiful. Urban Meyer to Tennessee, that's not happening. Not going to happen. All right, here we go. 1st and goal. Handoff. And he's going to pick up about 2. So it'll be 2nd and goal from about the 3. Yeah, Ohio State does look really good. But, again, I'm not one of these who have they played because I can tell by watching them play that they're good. But, Nebraska is at least a legit team. If they beat Nebraska by 4, 5, 6 touchdowns, then I'll be extremely impressed. Fields, wide open receiver touchdown, Ohio State. It's going to be 14-0 in the first quarter. Way too easy. Way too easy. Like I said, this game could be over by halftime. The way things are going right now. UGA is the most complete team, but Ohio State is most balanced. I completely disagree with the premise that UGA is the most complete team. Are they one of the best 5 teams in the country? 4 or 5? Yeah. Most complete? No. Dade Star Mystery says, a bad time to mention you're a Nebraska fan. Why would you be? Don't ever be ashamed of who you're a fan of, sir. For the first time in history of man, and probably the last time in the history of man, I actually agree with something that RP says. Urban Meyer would never go to Michigan. That's just some BS headline for clicks. Yes, that's absolutely true. Slim Shady Canes, I actually think that Notre Dame's better than people think they are. I'm going to give the credit to Notre Dame instead of, saying that Georgia's overrated. I don't even know what Georgia is rated. I'm talking about in my mind. In my mind, I have Georgia rated as a top 5 team, and I think they are that. Now, of course, if you're a Georgia fan, you probably think they're the number 1 or 2 team in the country. I don't think that. But, again, that's my opinion. My opinion does not matter in the grand scheme of things. I tried to tell you to be ashamed of being an Auburn fan. Well, you should be ashamed of being an Auburn fan. I mean, that goes without saying. Well, if little baby Jesus in the manger grants me my wish this Christmas, then Georgia will be seeing Clemson in the playoffs. Or maybe even adult Jesus with a beard and sandals. Maybe him. Either one of them's fine with me. Rick Williams says nobody wants to play Ohio State right now. He's right. They look really good. And I happen to know that Rick Williams is not an Ohio State fan, so he's not being a homer there. No, I said a few weeks ago, the worst possible scenario, if you're a Georgia fan, is having to face Ohio State in the playoffs and then losing to them. That would be devastating to the psyche and the ego of a Georgia fan. Why? Because they've seen Deshaun Watson leave Georgia and come to Clemson, win national titles. They've seen Trevor Lawrence escape out of Georgia, come to Clemson, win national titles. And if Justin Fields escapes the team, not just being recruited there, goes to Ohio State and beats them that would be devastating to a Georgia fan. Devastating. 1st and 10, Nebraska from the 25. And they get nowhere. It's going to be 2nd and 10 or 9. Second and 8. Screen pass. And Nebraska finally gets a first down. That's the first down they've gotten since the first drive, I think. Which is worse, Georgia losing to Washington or Ohio State? Well, I think I'd say losing to Ohio State would be worse because 1st and 10, big time play by Nebraska, another first down. It'd be worse because I don't know. I guess it wouldn't matter. I think it would be worse because Fields, I think, has a higher ceiling as a college player than Eason does to let him get out of there. And Eason lost his job because he got hurt. 1st and 10. Big play by Nebraska. No, not so big. About 4 yards, though. So 2nd and 6. 3 minutes left in the first quarter here. Let's see if Nebraska can get a touchdown. So from the 46. Hand the ball off, and he's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage for a 1-yard loss. Urban Meyer is going to coach at OSU or UCLA. No, I doubt that. USC would be more likely. I don't know why he'd go to UCLA. 3rd and 5. Martinez keeps it. And a big run. First down, Nebraska. That was all Martinez right there, just showing how athletic he is. Another first down by Nebraska. Mama No says Clemson plays football. Y'all are a disgrace to the ACC. Okay, I don't even know who you're talking to. But, okay. Church of Bama says Lawrence is overrated. He's still mad from last year. Misplaced anger. I know everyone's high on LSU this year, but their lack of defense is alarming. I think Alabama's going to beat them pretty easily. First and 10 from the 26. Martinez back to pass. Throws it. Oh, he was wide open. Oh, tipped and intercepted by Ohio State. He missed a wide open receiver. That would have been a touchdown for Nebraska. He overthrew it. It was tipped. And an Ohio State player who was laying on his back intercepted it. So that's a huge missed opportunity by Nebraska there. Wide open. That's a touchdown if he hits that receiver right there. Well, LSU can deal with Clemson wide receivers. Clemson cannot hold LSU wide receivers. I mean, that was almost an unreadable sentence there. 1st and 10, Ohio State. And they hand the ball off. Run up the middle for about 3. If Nebraska had any chance to stay in this game, being down 14-0 in the first quarter, they had to get that touchdown there. That was a huge mistake there. LSU is DBU. Well, they're giving up 1 million points to everybody. So maybe they'll be DBU again next year, but they're not this year. And they're going to hand the ball off. He's going to run around the end, pick up about 20 yards. First and 10, Buckeyes. First and 10, Fields back to pass. Wide open. And he just tripped or he'd have been gone. Anyway, 1st and 10, Buckeyes. There was nobody within 10 yards of him when he caught that football. It looked like a Big 12 defense right there. Look at this. Nobody even anywhere around him. Will Scott Frost get fired in 2 more years of losing records? No. I mean, you got to realize Nebraska has been a terrible team for like 15 or 20 years. 20 years probably. So no. And I think he'll get it turned around there too, but he needs more than just – it's only been a year and 5 games. I mean, what do they expect? This guy's not a miracle maker. They already look better than they have for the past 20 years just for he's only been there for a year. I wouldn't fire him. What's up, college football maniac? Why does Scott Frost get a pass and Harbaugh doesn't? Because Harbaugh has been there for – this is his 5th year there, sir. RP, try to keep up. This isn't hard. Like I told you, I know math is not your strong suit. Harbaugh has been at Michigan for 5 years, and he's never beat Ohio State, and he's never won his division. Scott Frost has only been there for a year. He's a ree. These guys, do you wear Velcro shoes? There's no way you know how to tie your shoes in the morning. Mama No is either drunk or a fan of a team that can't beat Alabama, or both. You guys are more entertaining than this game is. I'm predicting a 28-0, or maybe a 28-3 score at halftime in this game. Do I like Major League Baseball? Hold on. Fields with the quarterback keeper, and he's going to pick up about 3 yards. And do I like Major League Baseball? If so, what's my team? Not a huge baseball fan, honestly. When I was a kid growing up, I went to a lot of Braves games because it's the closest team to where I live. And a lot of Indians games because I have family in Ohio, and I would go there every summer, and we would go to Indians games. But honestly, I don't really have a favorite team. I have teams that I hate, like the Yankees, because who doesn't hate the Yankees? 2nd and 7. And he's going to pick up about 6. Mama No is hooked on phonics. Can't put together a coherent sentence when typing. 3rd and 1. Hands the ball off, up the middle. First down, Buckeyes. Inside the 30. All the way down to the 20. It looks like about the 26. What's up, Danny D-Rock Mahaffey? Danny, I did about a 10-minute segment on the Clemson game at the beginning of the stream, and I honestly just don't feel like repeating the whole thing. But hold on a second. I'll give you the brief recap of it in a second. 1st and 10. All right, looks like time at Ohio State. All right, for all you guys who weren't here beginning of the stream, I was actually happy with the Clemson game, mainly because they won, but because I wanted to see what this team, not last year's team, this team, how they responded to adversity. And this is the first time that I've seen Trevor Lawrence actually put the team on his back and win the football game. And that's what he did. He made every big play on offense in that game when it mattered most. Some big-time third down conversions, some big-time touchdown passes when they needed it. And so while I was very unhappy with some of the certain aspects of the game, mainly the offensive line and the penalties, overall, I was extremely happy with the outcome of the game today. JJ, remember the Orange Bowl? They lost 70-33. He didn't almost get fired after that. That's not even close to the truth. Leon is checking out. Leon, thank you, sir, for the super chats. That's all I can say is thank you. There's nothing else I can do other than thank you. So thank you, sir, and be safe tonight. Trevor Lawrence fans are delusional. Mama, no. Did you watch the game? Clearly, you didn't watch the game. Yeah. Mama No says, I don't know, was that is a he or a she? I don't know. I mean, if it's a dude that named himself Mama, that's weird. But maybe you're not. Maybe you're a woman. Says that she was at the game in Chapel Hill. Judging from your comments, you're certainly not a Clemson fan. So are you a North Carolina fan or a South Carolina fan? Because those are the only two people that would pay money to go watch Clemson play, is either Clemson or South Carolina fans. And you're not a Clemson fan. Apparently. First and 10, and he's going to pick up about 3. It's going to be second and 7, Buckeyes. 12 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second quarter. I need to change the quarter here. All right, so from the 23-yard line, second and 7. Hands the ball off, and he's going to hit in the backfield, and he's going to pick up maybe a yard. Third and 6 coming up. Third and 8. Complete over the middle. And he's going to break a tackle inside the 10-yard line. First and goal, Buckeyes. Yeah, I don't block people. I have very few rules here. No racism, homophobia. You can say whatever you want to about me. Say anything about my wife or my kids, and then you're out of here. Pretty simple. I mean, don't threaten people, right? I mean, if you want to come out here and say stupid stuff, that's up to you. Second and goal. And it's going to be sacked. Finally, a defensive play by Nebraska. This is a huge down here for Nebraska. It's still 7-0, huh? Third and goal. Fields back to pass. He's got all day. He runs it. And he's going to get down to about the 5. Fourth and goal from the 5. I'm assuming they're going to kick a field goal here. They should. Up 14-0. Jalen is a Heisman front runner. He's a comeback kid of football, says Christian Ballard. Yeah, he's got... he has as good a chance to win it as anybody. Fourth and goal. Kick is up. Kick is good. 17-0 Ohio State. What's up, El Paso Rob? Mama No continues to type unintelligible sentences in the chat. Mama, no, you must have the only computer or smartphone that doesn't have spell check on it, because you spelled more words wrong than you spelled right since you've been here. What's up, Halo Halo? Slim Shady Canes with a $5 super chat says, all these Bama fans waiting Clemson to be exposed, so Bama's not the only one. Yeah, I know weed's not legal in all 50 states yet, but some of these people, they're smoking way too much of it because their memory is completely shot. And they forget the way that they said the same stuff the past 4 years. I've been hearing that Clemson's overrated, is going to go away since 2013 or 14. Hadn't happened yet. You guys are all sitting around saying the same thing over and over again after you're hitting the bong one too many times. You guys are all out of your mind. Mama No says that Trevor Lawrence is going to eat the transfer portal. I agree. He's going to eat it. Makes a lot of sense. Nobody blocked you. I mean, the only person that can block you from here is me. And I haven't blocked you yet. So, all right. 17-0. Did I change the score yet? No. You guys have to remind me of this stuff. All right. I have the memory of a cockroach. There we go. All right, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody who stopped in tonight for this game. Stick around if you're not a normal viewer of this channel. I promise if you stick around, it'll be at least... Well, I give it anywhere between 7 and 12 days before I piss you off. But we have a lot of fun on here. 1st and 10. Martinez back to pass. Almost intercepted. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Yeah, it'll be at least a week or two before I piss you off. But if you stick around longer than 2 weeks, then you actually might start to like me eventually. We have a lot of fun on here. We talk about college football year-round. This is not just during the season. We do multiple live shows a week, all year-round. And then I also post meaningless and pointless college football videos almost every single day during the week. Martinez back to pass again over the middle. Bad pass, intercepted. What the hell was that? That was awful. And then as soon as he throws an interception, they pan to a guy in the crowd who has a giant ear of corn on his head. That's weird. Look, I'm going to give credit to Ohio State. They're obviously a top team, period. They're as talented as anybody. They're as well coached as anybody. They look great. But I'm going to tell you right now, Nebraska's playing awful. So the combination of those two things is what it is. Texas Savage says, I love you, Pete, no homo. Texas Savage, you don't love me. I mean, I'm surprised you're still on here because I blocked you from every other outlet that I'm on. I'm not going to block you now as long as you're behaving. But Justin Fields up the middle, wide open. He's going to get a touchdown. No, he's not. He got tackled finally. Flag on the play. Mama No says that Pigskin Pete does not know zero about football, so subscribe to Uncle Lou. I do encourage everybody to go subscribe to Uncle Lou. And by the way, Mama No is completely right. I don't know anything about football. That's why Mama No spends half of his or her day here talking to me. Yeah, Nebraska doesn't look good. And this is only the first half. I expect Ohio State to score 30 or 40 points in the second half. All right, first and goal from the 9. Picks up about a yard. Second and goal. Hands the ball off. Easy touchdown, Ohio State. About to be 24-0. And there's still like 8 minutes left in this half here. Where's the guy earlier that said he followed all of my bet picks this week? So far, we're looking good, buddy. If we hold on here, we'll win 2 out of 3. Me and you together. Take it to the bank. Yeah, Ohio State plays Wisconsin in a couple weeks. Yes, Stephen Marks. We're looking good right now, buddy. Thank you for believing in me. But all jokes aside, like I said, I'm not. I don't claim to be some sort of expert, but I do watch a lot of football, and I have a massive winning record so far this year. I'm over 60% on the year with my bet now picks, and I've yet to have a losing week. So, but as soon as I say that, next week I'll have a losing week. That's the way that works. Oh, Church of Bama. I thought you knew the rules here, sir. Yeah. It was nice seeing you, buddy. Yeah. You dumbass. You've been here long enough to know this, Church of Bama. I mean, you were a troll last year. You're trolling this year. I have 3 rules. I mean, this is not rocket science. Anything about my wife is off limits, sir. It's that simple. So now you can go create another account and try to come back. Or maybe I'll see you next year. Or maybe not. Oh, man. Another one. RP, I mean, you didn't learn? This is getting unbelievable here. How many subscribers do I have? Somebody tell me how many subscribers I have. What is it, 2,000? If 2,000 of you losers want to type that, then I'll block all of you. Yeah, Tua is next level. That's the reason I got into the well, I was going to say I got into an argument, but it wasn't an argument with the what's that guy's name, the radio host that blocked me on Twitter? Walter something. Walt Deptula. Hey guys, it's Walt here. Hey, yeah. I block people on the internet. I'm a complete loser radio host in Spartanburg, South Carolina, who can't take anybody disagreeing with me on Twitter. So I block guys like Pigskin Pete before they destroy me on Twitter in front of all my fans. That's Walter Deptula for you. I said that I thought Tua would be the first quarterback taken in the draft, and this guy, it got his panties in a wad and blocked me. Let's see. RP should have been blocked an hour ago. No, he didn't say anything that would be blocked. I don't block it. I don't block. See, I'm not Walt Deptula. Okay. People can say what they want. I'm not the word police. You can say whatever you want. Again, I have very, very few rules here. And I explained the rules to that guy at least 3 or 4 times before I blocked him. But apparently his head is way too thick to absorb very simple instructions and information. So it is what it is. Do you think Cam will play another game for the Panthers? I know it's off subject, but thanks. Yeah, I do. Once he gets healthy. And you know what? I put that on the coaches. If they'd have benched him last year when he was hurt and earlier this year when he was hurt and let him get healthy instead of playing him hurt, he would be healthy right now. So I say keep Cam Newton and fire Ron Rivera's sorry ass. I can't stand Ron Rivera. What's up, Corey Conrad? Ohio State looks okay. Yeah, they look more than okay. They look really good. Second and 11. Martinez runs out to the sideline, picks up about 2. Martinez is about the only player on that team that's worth a crap right now. RP is Walter. And you know what? He did show up right around the time that Walter blocked me. Church of UGA. Are you just making other accounts now because I blocked you? Your humor can be off-putting. Look, you can say whatever you want. Keep my wife's name out of your chat. That's all I'm telling you to do. And Martinez is sacked. And this just looks pitiful at this point. 7 minutes left in the first half. I was hoping to see a somewhat competitive game here, and it's not happening. 4th and 12, and there's a flag. That's a good question. Jay Jobs, Pigskin, would you have preferred Clemson to lose to wake them up? No, I don't want them to lose. But I'd rather... What happened today was the perfect scenario. They win, but they get woken up. I definitely don't want them to lose ever. Roberto, I think it's a combination of both. The punt is up. Fair catch from the 45. So Ohio State's going to take over again. 6 minutes and 40 seconds left and good field position. Fire Ron and hire Harbaugh for the Panthers. Oh, God. I might actually not watch a Panthers game as long as Harbaugh was on the sideline. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, everyone's waiting for Clemson or Alabama to lose. I mean, they plan their entire Saturdays around watching, hopefully, one of them lose. And, it must be hard. Must be tough. Every day, every weekend's a letdown. Terrible. Sneaks, I remember going to the Syracuse game last year with the same feeling as I did this year. Same nerves, different year. Yeah, it's... Look, I still believe... I said before the season, I believe Clemson will lose the game. Now, hopefully today was as close as they'll come to it, but it's really hard to go undefeated. It's almost impossible to go undefeated 2 years in a row. So... Clemson's next chance to lose will be in the playoffs. No, I don't know about that. Never know, man. You got to play Wake Forest, who's undefeated. What's the score of the Wake Forest game right now? Somebody give me an update on that. Who else I got to play? I'm going to the Florida State game in a couple weeks. Of course, they're not going to lose to Florida State. If they lose to Florida State, then, yeah, I will be mad. I don't see that happening, though. What else they got to play? Louisville, Boston College. Easy. They'll beat both of those teams. I said the toughest game they have left, the two toughest games they have left on their regular season schedule will be Wake Forest and South Carolina, I would imagine. Would I agree that the NFL has put out a better product the past couple of seasons than college football? No. It depends on what you define as a better product. Because, as far as execution and talent, the NFL is always going to have a better product. But as far as excitement, I don't think there's that much of a difference. I mean, listen, people are pissed off about Clemson and Alabama, but the Patriots have, for the past 20 years, have been the dominant team in NFL. You don't see them bitching about that, or maybe you do. I don't know. 1st and 10. Fields back to pass. He's got all day. Wide open receiver on the screen. He's going to break a tackle, and he's going to be taken down after about a 30-yard gain. Oh, they're going to score another touchdown here. Update the scoreboard. Is it not updated? Oh, yeah, you're right. Thank you. It's not updated. Ohio State's scoring so often I have to update it every 2 seconds. And they might score right here. So I may as well just wait till he scores. Oh, they're going to say he's down at the half-a-yard line. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the score here just to save myself some time. So I'm going to make it 31. And if they don't score for some reason, then I'll go back and change it. But it's looking like it's about to be. Yeah, there you go. Michael says Wake Forest didn't play today. They're playing right now, aren't they? Am I right about that? They're playing today, aren't they? Right now. I thought. I didn't see that. All right. Well, I'll just go ahead and block them. Oh, they did. Yeah, they won 27-24. All right. Yeah, so Wake Forest is 5-0. And at this point, I don't know if you can argue. They're the only other team in the ACC that's undefeated other than Clemson. So I guess you got to call them the second best team in the ACC. All right. Still 5 minutes and 42 seconds left in this first half, and it's an absolute slaughter, 31-0. El Paso Rob says, why does it feel like Clemson is missing something? That's a good question. I feel like what they're missing is the leadership that they had in some of those guys on the defensive line last year. And it's not just – and the defense is playing great, don't get me wrong. It's the leadership that they had over the entire team. And that's not something that you just replace in the offseason. It's something that's going to have to develop throughout the season, and we'll see who the leader is. 1st and 10. And Martinez picks up about 5. That's the thing that's missing. I think they'll be okay. I'm not worried about them at all, really. And there's another one. These guys are eating paint chips tonight. All right, so 4 minutes and 40 seconds left. Let's see if Nebraska can even take it down. 4th down. This is just pitiful. This is a domination. Do you guys even think that you'll see Fields or even Dobbins or any of these starters in the second half? I don't even know why you'd risk playing them at this point. This is terrible. Nebraska's not making a comeback. Have you been watching this game, Christian? Listen, I'll give credit again. Ohio State's very good. They're dominating like they should. Nebraska's not a good team. I mean, I can just tell by watching them they're not a good team. They've got a handful of really good players, but they got a long way to go, man. Yeah, I don't know what they're watching, Roberto. I never thought Ohio State would lose. At this point, now that I've seen them play 4 or 5 games, I don't see a team that they're not going to beat. I mean, I guess their biggest game left is Wisconsin. That's a test, and maybe Penn State can compete, but yeah, I don't. Why was Nebraska so hyped this year? I think it's because of Scott Frost and Adrian Martinez and the fact that they ended the season on a high note last year. But there's a big difference, and for all you UCF fans out there, listen up to this. There's a big difference between going out there and dominating in the group of 5 and then coming into a Power 5 conference. And this just proves it right here. Now, I still believe that Scott Frost, like I said before, is going to get things turned around. He's not going to do it like he did at all those other group of 5 teams. He can't do it in 1 year. You can't take a team that has been as bad as Nebraska has been for as long as they've been bad and turn them into a Big Ten title contender after 1 year. If he was able to do that, that would be the biggest coaching accomplishment in the history of coaching. And another big run up the middle, 1st and 10, Ohio State. They might make this 38-0. Do either Auburn at Florida or Iowa at Michigan. I haven't even looked at next week's schedule. I'll let you know, though. Another big wide open run. Across the 50, across the 40. Oh, God, Dobbins might have 200 yards in the first half. Every time he touches the ball, he gets 25 yards. I might just have to switch games at halftime, guys. I mean, I really wanted to see a decent game here. Is there another closer game on that I can cover it for the second half? Maybe South Carolina and Kentucky? That close? Ten and nothing Carolina. Well, that's a lot closer than this. Plus, it's much more likely that Kentucky comes back and beats Carolina than it is Nebraska comes back and beats Ohio State. That's not going to happen. Complete. It's going to be 3rd and 7. Yeah, I expect Florida to get exposed next week. I still believe they're the most overrated team in the country as far as the meaningless ranking polls go. Florida State, North Carolina State. No, God, no. I'm not watching that. I might fall asleep. Oh, Kentucky has shiny helmets on? Then I'm definitely going to watch it. That's because that's all I care about. 1st and 10. Amazing catch. Touchdown, Ohio State. Good God almighty. They should have a mercy rule in college football and just go ahead and just send everybody home, let them go home at halftime. Just end the game. Who will be my top 5 right now? God. Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Clemson, and Georgia. That's my top 5. Not in any order. I mean, that's the top 5 in no particular order. And quite honestly, based on what I've seen from every one of these teams and who they played and how they played, you can put them in any order, and I wouldn't argue with it. Anybody else have somebody that I missed? I mean, college game should be 40 minutes instead of 60. No, I disagree with that. I don't want to change the amount of time. I would actually prefer the time and the rules between college and NFL to be pretty much identical. And, I don't understand how they have different overtime rules and different review rules and challenging rules and all that. That's all different. I would like all that to be uniform between NFL and college. Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia. That's same 5 I had. See you later, Slim Shady Canes. Have a good night, sir. You are amazing and fantastic, and thank you for the super chats. And I'm sure I will see you on the next stream. Oh, less than a minute left. I'm sorry, just over a minute left in the second quarter here. If you guys are new here, if this is your first time on one of these live play-by-play and reaction streams that I do on Saturdays, fumble, but he got his own fumble. What I do during halftime is take a break during halftime. I don't turn the stream off. I don't end the stream. I just take a break. So I can encourage you to do the same, or you can stay in here and chat amongst yourselves and tell everybody how much the other team sucks and how overrated they are and how they don't play anybody. That's all fine with me. What I'm probably going to do, though, during my break, other than pee and eat a snack, is think of another game to watch, because this one is a blowout dud, and it's not really very exciting. So that's something you guys can do while I'm gone, is you can think of the game. I'll take votes. Which game that's on right now would you guys rather watch than this one, since this one's basically over at 38-0? I'm thinking probably South Carolina and Kentucky will be the most interesting one. But I'll leave it up to you guys. I'm thinking so too. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I'm not doing Florida State and NC State, because I'd rather watch paint dry than watch those two terrible teams play football. All right. All right, we'll do. That's what we'll do then. I think that's a consensus. We'll do Kentucky and South Carolina as soon as halftime's over, and we'll be back right after these messages. So I've switched the game over to Kentucky and South Carolina now. 10-0. Has anybody been watching this game between Kentucky and South Carolina that can give me like a excuse me, like a breakdown of how this game's been going, other than just looking at the score? Ventura Variety, good afternoon to you. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. OSU should be ranked ahead of Clemson without a doubt. Sure. Rank them ahead of Clemson. Is he in here? College Football Maniac, you in here? Oh, look. The only touchdown tonight for South Carolina was scored by none other than Clemson's own Tavian Feaster. And I've been saying this all year. Feaster is clearly the best back on that team, and he has not been playing near enough as much as he should, especially in critical situations. He spent way too much time on the bench. What does Nebraska need to do to win and make a comeback? I mean, everything. They need more than a miracle. Kirby has been nothing less than massively disappointing in some of these big-time situations. You were in the bathroom. You left your phone on the charger. I mean, that's a little bit too much information. But I was just asking if anybody's been watching this South Carolina game that can give me like an update on, you know, what's been going on. Dade Star is going to enter the fan transfer portal. There's a lot of fans in the transfer portal right now. Punting it back and forth on each other. Touchdown came on each of first possession. Yeah, so they've had basically a defensive battle, which is I'm not surprised about. I think he's a fan of Nebraska. Kev Ferrari says Ohio State is a real deal. Yes. They are. That's clear. Is Helinski hurt? I've actually been kind of disappointed with the way this season's going so far in college football. I'm not talking about Clemson. I'm just talking about in general. There haven't been a whole lot of exciting games. Most games have been blowouts, or teams losing to non-Power 5 teams. But I mean, really, the Notre Dame and Georgia game is probably the most exciting game of the year by a long shot. I mean, can anybody tell me a game that's been more exciting than that one? I don't think so. I mean, I guess the North Carolina game today against Clemson was exciting. If you're not a Clemson fan, wasn't exciting for me. But I guess the North Carolina and South Carolina game was exciting. That came down to the very end, last play as well. But most of these big matchups, like, the one that everyone was feeding us to be the big matchup of the week last week, other than Notre Dame and Georgia, was Wisconsin and Michigan. And that was a rout. I mean, that game was over at halftime. So hopefully now that we're getting into week 5, the majority of these teams are going to be getting into conference play, and we'll start seeing hopefully some better games. The Utah and Southern Cal, hold on. All right, I just heard my trash can go crashing to the ground from up here. My dog. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, the Utah and Southern Cal game was exciting. Most of them haven't been exciting, though. Tiger Nation, my man, says transfer portal should only be for juniors and seniors. Freshmen and sophomores have to play at least a year or two after all schools. Yeah, I'm all for people that have graduated to move freely. I feel like if you're a college kid and you've graduated and got your degree from that university, then you fulfilled your obligation. So that's first and foremost. Graduates, if you want to leave, fine. No problem with that at all. These players transferring as freshmen, I don't really like that. But I don't know how you fix it. I did hear somebody say, maybe you just have a rule that you only transfer once. No matter what, whether you're a freshman or a senior, you have one transfer as a player. That's it. And just make that the rule across the board. And, I mean, that might simplify it. I'm all about simplifying things. Makes sense. Please, whatever you do, don't drive your car off a cliff. I can't afford to lose any viewers. I just think that, the NCAA, they make things too complicated. They're not consistent. So simplify it. So, yeah, maybe you say either you're a graduate and you can transfer, or if you're an undergraduate, then you can only transfer once, but you can't, that's it. they give these waivers to some players, but not others. There's just no consistency there. And they're not very forthcoming about why they do things either. The NCAA's, they're shady, to say the least. Yeah, that's not going to happen, Hound Dog. I mean, there does have to be some sort of governing structure like the NCAA, because there's got to be rules, there's got to be regulations when you have that many teams to regulate. I just think there should be more transparency. It's a lot like the government, and I don't like to get into politics on this channel, and I'm not about to start today. It's never going to happen. I mean, the day that happens, I'll delete this YouTube channel because this is about sports, not about politics. But it's the same principle. Our government is way too complicated and inconsistent, and it should be simplified. And I believe that's the way that the NCAA should work as well. Yeah, exactly, Billy. There's a million examples of that. I agree, SEC dog, 100%. And the sad thing is I think that the vast majority of fans of college football feel the same way as you and I do about it. But they're deaf to it. The NCAA is deaf to what the fans want, and listen, they've made that clear. And again, with this thing that's going on in California, once the government gets involved, whether it's state government or federal government gets involved with the way things are run in sports, then it's a lost cause at that point. They won't really know the way it affects them until they do change things in a way that people stop buying tickets to games, people stop watching games, and then they'll know. But until then, they won't feel the effects of it. I mean, it's not anywhere close to where I'm jumping ship on college football yet, but they're headed down that road where they're going to lose the vast majority of their hardcore fans and the people that spend money. All right, so here we go. Looks like we have the second half starting here at the Upside Down Cockroach in Columbia, South Carolina. And a big return by Kentucky on the kickoff. First and 10 from the 39. And he's going to go nowhere. Yeah, the upside down cockroach. If you've ever seen a picture of South Carolina Stadium from like an aerial view, it looks like an upside down cockroach. Just go Google it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Incomplete pass. Hey, what's more annoying? That rooster sound that the Gamecocks play during the games or the cowbells at Mississippi State? I'm going to go actually with the cowbells. Fumble, recovered by South Carolina on the 30-yard line. That was awful. Yeah, the cowbells is got to be the most annoying thing in all of college football. It's constantly throughout the entire game. I mean, I don't think I could go to watch a game there. I'd have to wear earplugs or something. There's no way I could listen to that for 3 hours straight. Yeah. The fans in that stadium are much more intimidating than the actual football team is. They'll throw shit at you too. All right, so 1st and 10 from the 30 after the turnover. And it's going to be a touchdown, South Carolina. Yep. Well, is there another game on that anyone wants to watch? Because this one was not interesting either. 17-0 South Carolina. And it's just like duds tonight. Turn it back to that blowout real quick and see what happens here. So it looks like Ohio State's about to score again. Good God. It does look like that Kentucky's given up, right? Because they actually looked, really good when they played against Florida. Of course, maybe that's just because Florida's overrated. Come here. That's probably just because Florida's overrated. Oh, finally, a defensive play from Nebraska there. Yes, I have heard of Palmetto Moonshine. Cute dog. Yeah, this is Cooper here. He's a 14-year-old miniature pincher. If Florida beats Auburn, will they be respected? Yeah, I would think so. I highly doubt that's going to happen, though. Kansas State and Oklahoma State game? What channel is that on? Mississippi State and Auburn. ESPN, okay. ESPN Plus. What the hell does that mean? I don't know if I have that. I don't think I do. Oh, the app? No, yeah. Yeah, Clemson and North Carolina was the game of the day so far. What's up, Johnny Red Dot? Yeah, dodged the big one. Yeah, they did. Washington State and Utah, I think that comes on at 10:30. Unfortunately for the Pac-12, I think they're out of it now. Utah losing to Southern Cal, that I think that knocked them out. The problem with the Pac-12 schedule, they don't have good non-conference scheduling. Now Oregon does. Oregon still has an outside chance if they win out, as long as Auburn continues to do good. But the rest of the Pac-12, they don't schedule very good outside of their conference. Roberto says Ohio State played somebody now. Well, I didn't have to watch them play Nebraska to know they were good. So I don't fit into that category that you're talking about. Ohio State will get its chance when they play. They still have to play Penn State and Wisconsin. So we'll see how they play against them. But yeah, they're a championship caliber team. I mean, they're as good as anybody in the country is right now after 5 weeks. And yeah, Nebraska's not good, but they're doing what you do against bad teams, and they're blowing them out. Ohio State is certainly top 4. Really, Ohio State's been a top 4 team for a while now. Their problem was bad losses to bad teams. I'm not talking about a 1-point loss. I mean, we all know that the big loss to Purdue and the big loss to Iowa the year before that. That's what kept them out of the playoffs. Lou Patton, thank you, sir. $1.99 donation, thank you, sir. Somebody said update the score. All right. Yeah, I'm not even watching that game anymore, but I'll update it for you if you want. What is it, 41? Wait, 41? What is it? Yeah. I'm watching the Kentucky and South Carolina game right now, which is 17-0 South Carolina. Going for 2 was the right call. Yeah. I don't blame Mac Brown for doing that. I mean, it's easy to criticize him after the fact and say that he should have just gone for the tie. But if you're North Carolina and you're playing against Clemson and what were they, like a 28-point underdog, and you have a chance to win the game with one play, then, yeah, I think he made the right call there. Because look, man, if they would have got that, they probably would have won the game. Yeah. What's up, Clemson Tigers Nation? Good afternoon and good evening. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. Yeah, good point. Going for 2 was a good idea, but the play call was not a good play call. I agree. Yeah, I haven't even been. I'll check when I get off this stream, which is probably going to be soon because these games are so bad. Anyway, I haven't even been on social media yet, but I'm willing to bet that there's a bunch of Clemson fans out there that are crying about the way that Clemson played. I'm not one of those guys. I'm just not. I'm not worried about it at all, really. Clemson hasn't opened up the playbook. Just wait. I mean, I don't know. Again, the positives I take out of today is Trevor Lawrence put the team on his back and made big plays at big times when he needed to. The offensive line play, especially in the penalties, was awful. The Clemson's defense made the big plays when they needed to make them, but they did give up some big plays too. And the most positive thing about today for Clemson, hands down, period, end of story, was that they faced adversity and found a way to win. And that Trevor Lawrence, for the first time since he's been a starter at Clemson, had to actually put the team on his back to win. And that's something we haven't seen from him. And that's something that I was very, very pleased to see that he's capable of doing. Yeah. This is not something that's new to Clemson either. Playing down to their competition early in the year. Something to do almost every year, as a matter of fact. So, yes, thank you. Yeah, there's no team out there that blows every team out. Now, Alabama was probably the closest thing that you could say to that last year. They dominated pretty much everybody last year. I think they did dominate everybody last year. Oh, Georgia, I'm sorry. The SEC title game, they didn't dominate that game. But in the regular season, they dominated everybody. And then we saw how that turned out. So. Not Syracuse last year. Yeah, Syracuse was a close game. I said Alabama. I said Alabama dominated everybody last year, not Clemson. Clemson has at least 1 or 2 games every year where they have close games. Who do you play next week, SEC dog? You play Tennessee next week, right? Yeah. That game won't be close. No way. Thoughts on flexible dynamic scheduling, allowing schools to trade games to beef up schedule. First of all, the scheduling is done way years in advance. Okay. Look, I've already given my opinion on the way they should do scheduling. The best way to fix scheduling is to get rid of divisions. We don't need divisions in college football. We didn't have divisions in college football until like what? I don't even know how long ago it was. 20-something years ago. This way, you don't have to do away with conferences. That doesn't make any sense. But if you do away with divisions, then at least these top-heavy divisions, like the Atlantic Division in the ACC, has always, or at least for most of their history, been the dominant force in the ACC. The SEC West is usually top-heavy compared to the East. The Big Ten East is usually top-heavy compared to the West, so on and so forth. So at least rotate the games more often between in conference. So instead of Clemson only playing Miami and Virginia Tech in Virginia every 7 years, they can play them every 2 or 3 years. There's absolutely no need for divisions in football. You can still have whatever your rivals are in your conference. Clemson can still play Florida State every year if they want to do that. They can still play whatever. They say Georgia Tech's a rivalry game, even though I don't buy into that. I mean, that's something a lot of people think is a rivalry. I don't consider it to be a rivalry, but whatever. But then rotate the rest of the games. There's no reason Clemson has to play Wake Forest every year. There's no reason that Clemson has to play Louisville every year. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like the Big 12. Exactly. And besides that, it would just make it more interesting and more fun for the fans to play different teams every year in their conference instead of the same people every year. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Alabama and Georgia play each other every 3 years in the regular season, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to see Georgia play LSU every 3 years in the regular season instead of every 6 or 7 years? These games are boring. Mac Winter says FBS schools can only play other FBS schools. I would agree with that too. I don't like the FCS school scheduling at all. There's a ways to get around that. They say they need to play them to fund the lower tier schools. I say bullshit. Just have all these major Division I Power 5 programs. Everybody donates $1 million at the beginning of the year, and they divvy that up between the FCS schools, and they can do it that way. They don't have to actually play the game. And it would make, there's only 12 games, and if 2 or 3 of them a year are crap, then that's not helping the sport at all. What is the NC State and then Florida State score? I don't know. 17-6 Florida State. I was most impressed with Simmons today for Clemson. He ran over tall and buried. Simmons is the best player on the defense. He's the smartest player on the defense. He's the most experienced player on the defense. He's the best player on the defense. So that pretty much sums that up. Simmons will be a first-round pick in the NFL draft after this season's over. Yeah. UCF keeping their playoff hopes alive against UConn. No, they're not. Yeah, their playoff hopes ended in Pitt. And by the way, they really didn't have any playoff hopes to begin with because they're not going to make the playoffs. But that brings me to my next point. We're talking about playoffs and divisions and how to make these games more interesting. I will tell you this. I don't understand why the group of five doesn't have their own playoff system to begin with. There's no reason why they can't. I mean, the FCS has playoffs. The Power Five has playoffs. Why can't the Group of Five have their own playoff? You know, if the Group of Five did have their own playoff, then UCF would actually have a real legitimate national championship. It would be a Group of Five national championship instead of the one that they claim. The one that now belongs to Pittsburgh. Why am I a buzzkill? Yeah, very similar to Roquan Smith. I agree. Yeah, for those of you who didn't hear, it's official that Pittsburgh is the new fake national champs since they knocked off the old fake national champs, and that UCF was relegated by the NCAA to mail their fake national championship trophy to Pittsburgh. And I heard that it arrived there yesterday via FedEx in bubble wrap. And they went ahead and they put that in the trophy case in Pittsburgh. And they're in the process of wrapping all of the police cars and fire engines in the city of Pittsburgh in fake national championship wraps as well. So we can all rest assured that Pittsburgh is the real national champions. Or they can play Notre Dame every year until they join a conference. These ideas are getting better by the minute. I like that idea. Yes, I agree. Or Notre Dame could just join the Power Five. I'm about to bail out on these games, and probably the stream too, because you guys have. How many people are in here right now watching? 17. 17 people are the real heroes here for sticking with me through this. This might be the most boring stream I've ever done, and that's probably saying something. But the 17 people that are in here, you're the real heroes for sticking with me through this dumpster fire of a game or games. I could have done Auburn and Mississippi State. Yeah, I could have. Well, hindsight's 2020. Well, I almost didn't do a stream tonight at all because I just don't feel good. I haven't felt good for the past 2 days. But I was hoping for a good game tonight. FCK off, very original name, sir. 76 says, "Why are you wearing sunglasses inside?" You must be new here. As a matter of fact, I know you are new here because I've never seen your sorry ass in here before or that name. So how about you just ask everybody else in the chat why I wear sunglasses inside, and maybe they'll answer it for you, because I definitely won't. But I will say this. I am out because I'm bored, I'm tired, and I don't feel good, and these games suck. So thank you all for stopping in. Thank you. By the way, let me go back here. All the people who get sent super chats. Leon Hurricanes, $150 he donated. I don't know if Leon's still in here. I don't think he is, but that's unbelievable. Slim Shady Canes as well, and Lou Patton. You guys are all awesome. Thanks everybody for stopping in. I'm sorry the stream sucked. Sorry the game sucked, and hopefully next week we'll have some better streams. By the way, everyone go check out howardsrock.net. The last 2 episodes I've done over there, Running Down the Hill with Pete and Bobby, for all the members, and the 5th quarter show with Pete and Rover. These last 2 episodes were awesome, and we'll be putting more stuff up there next week for everybody, as well as some written articles. Everybody go check that out. What else? Go check out my man Bobby Durkins over there, Clemson YouTuber, and as well as Spencer from Rover Sports. You guys are awesome. Thanks for stopping in. I'll see you guys very soon. Pigskin Pete is checking out.